Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I have with me Sheikh Bilal Ismail, who is an instructor with the Al-Kausar Institute and also the head of the Students Guild. Sheikh, I had a chance of attending one of the Al-Kausar programs recently conducted, the A to Z of Love and Mercy, basically on nikah and divorce. And I have to say, mashallah, very delicate subject, handled very well by you. And the whole strong point about Al-Kausar is the quality of instructors and the quality of the material used. Sheikh, I heard a lot about Students Guild. What exactly is the Students Guild?
Well, alhamdulillah, the Students Guild is a concept that we've come up with to fill the gap in student-teacher relationship. We find that the Al-Kausar course, very intensive, over 2 days. You are studying this material which has been put together by the Al-Kausar instructor. You're not studying classical works, you're not studying the works of Imam Bukhari, you're not studying the works of Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, but rather you are studying this intensive course put together by the Al-Kausar instructor. That's number one. Number two, we only have Al-Kausar courses in your given city about 4 to 5 times a year. What do I do for the rest of the year? If I am a very interested student, if I am somebody who wants something extra, I want to study what the instructor has studied. So where do I go? What do I do? That's where the Al-Kausar Institute has come up with the idea of the Students Guild, a 5-year intensive program where the students of Al-Kausar, the best of the best, will study the classical works of the classical scholars in the privacy and the comforts of their homes. Walhamdulillah.
How does the whole concept of the whole format of Students Guild work?
Well, basically everything will be taking place online. So in your home, all through the internet, you will watch this instructor. He will video himself explaining, for example, Bulugh al-Maram, Fiqh al-Hadith, or for example, Umdatul Fiqh by Ibn Qudama in the Fiqh of the Hanbali Madhab, or for example, Usul Fiqh from the Waraqat. So this instructor, their duty to record themselves explaining this book over a given period of semesters. Yourself in your home, you watch the video online, you're given a username, a password to the website, access to the videos, you watch them, you take down your notes, you have the 11th week revision with the instructor, 12th week examination, 13, 14, a small holiday. We come back in the 15th week for the second semester.
MashaAllah, Al-Kausar operates in a lot of countries in the world today. So what are the countries basically covered by the Students Guild?
Inshallah, well, alhamdulillah, in the future the Students Guild will be launched and operational to all the countries that Al-Kausar operates in. But currently we have launched in the UK last year, and our second launch in the UK will be taking place very, very soon. We also launched in Australia and in Canada. So operating in these 3 countries, well, alhamdulillah.
Sheikh, something on the format of the guild. What is the format of the guild?
Well, as I mentioned, that the guild is focused upon the classical works of the classical scholars, and also added to that, in an Al-Kausar course, you do not have so much of interaction between teacher and student. He's there, the instructor, for 2 days, and then he goes back to his country. But you don't have that opportunity of having this greater interaction as was found in the past between teacher and student. So we've tried to fulfill and try to join that gap and fulfill that need by introducing the Students Guild. So the student will study for 10 weeks and he will watch the instructor, listen to instructor, take down their own notes. Every second week, well, alhamdulillah, there is a live webinar between that instructor who is teaching you that subject and yourself. So you join on, you log on to the webinar, whatever questions you have, you type it up, and the instructor live, he will answer all of those questions. If before that there's something on your mind, you can obviously go to the Al-Kausar forums, type up your questions, and the instructors are instructed to answer all of those questions. You have the live webinar. Other benefits are that when this instructor is in your city doing an Al-Kausar course, they have to make special provision for the Students Guild members. So he has a separate sitting with them. They have problems, they have issues, they have questions on their minds. So to give them, the special benefits.
Sheikh, something on the curriculum of the guild. Is it the same material which the students study in the Al-Kausar program?
As we mentioned, that it's for the cream of the crop. It's for that student who does not want to study the works of the instructor. That I get in the Al-Kawthar course. But I want to study what the Al-Kawthar instructor has studied. I want to study what the scholars of Islam have studied. So here we study the classical works of the classical scholars, like in Aqidah al-Tahawiyah, for example, Bulugh al-Maram by Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, Waraqat in Usul Fiqh, Nukhbatul Fikr in the science of Ahadith. And as you can see, classical works of the classical scholars. So we would have something in Usul, something in Fiqh. Example, Umdatul Fiqh by Ibn Qudama, something with regards to Ahadith like Bulugh al-Maram, something important in the science of Seerah. So we've chosen various topics, various works, various texts and mutun of the classical scholars, inshallah.
Sheikh, what is the benefit to the student in the guild, the benefit of the guild?
Well, the benefits before anything and everything else is that the student is given this opportunity totally free. You don't have to pay anything whatsoever. You watch these videos online, make up your notes, sit the examinations. You have access to all of this knowledge. You have access to this tutor, this instructor. Every second week there is a webinar between the students and the instructor. We're live on the internet. You type up your questions. You put your questions that you had in the lesson that you had already watched. Maybe there was something you did not understand. Maybe something requires greater clarification. So in the Al-Kawthar course, after the course, you might not have that great of an opportunity. You might not visit the forums, etc. But here you have that opportunity. You do not move on to the next chapter until you have fully understood the previous chapter and the current chapter, alhamdulillah. And also, when this Al-Kawthar instructor visits your city for an Al-Kawthar course, you have the opportunity and the benefit that there will be separate sittings and sessions between that instructor and those students. So the cream of the crop students, the Al-Kawthar student guild members, they are part of that inner circle, if one has to call them, and they have that opportunity to interact with the instructor, put forward their problems, their issues, their questions. So they are given those benefits, alhamdulillah.
Sheikh, what are the requirements? I'm sure there are a lot of students who are interested in getting into the guild. What is the whole process and what are the requirements of getting into the guild?
Well, as you can imagine, the students' guild is for the cream of the crop. It's for the best of the Al-Kawthar students. And there are requirements, there are conditions. Number one, that you attend plus minus 80% of the Al-Kawthar courses. You sit the examination for those courses. You sit an entrance exam for the students' guild. And the entrance exam covers Rahiq al-Makhtoom, the Meccan period. So you read it, you study it, and you will be tested on it in this entrance exam. A 3-hour entrance exam, rather difficult. Also, Fundamentals of Tawheed by Abu Amina Bilal Phillips. You will be tested on the entire book. And lastly, the chapter of Siyam and Ramadan from the book Fiqh Sunnah by Sayyid Sabiq. So you are tested on Seerah, you are tested on Aqidah, and you are tested on Fiqh. 3-hour entrance exam. You pass it, well, alhamdulillah, you are in the students' guild.
After 5 years in the guild, is there a certification or a certificate given by the Al-Kawthar Institute to students of the guild?
No doubt, inshallah. After the 5 years of the student guild, then every single student who has passed, who has done well in the guild, they will be given an in-house certification from Al-Kawthar, a diploma stating that you have studied all of these classical works, and we will list them, and inshallah, we will grant that to you.
So this was all about the guild. Alhamdulillah, the Sheikh has been very elaborate about the guild, and I'm sure there are a lot of students who would be very keen on joining the guild.
Inshallah, and we welcome those students. Join the Al-Kawthar courses, attend the Al-Kawthar courses, sit the examinations, study for your entrance exam, pass the entrance exam, and alhamdulillah, the rest is free, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. It requires from you determination, requires from you endurance, perseverance, and the rest inshallah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Jazakallah khair.
Jazakumullahu khairan. Hayyakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.